Okay, hopefully we're back. Hopefully I didn't screw this up too bad. Okay, hopefully I didn't screw up that too bad. I did screw it up, but what I was trying to do was share my YouTube short. What I wanted to do was discuss this graphic right here. I wanted to discuss this before I screwed up the live stream. Yeah, this is a very interesting graphic here. Let me try not to screw it up like I did last time. Okay, hopefully you can see that screen right there, my YouTube short screen. Okay, let's take a look at this very interesting graphic here. Very interesting graphic. SpaceX 800 billion valuation, XAI 200 billion valuation as of a few days ago. 800 billion for SpaceX, 200 billion for XAI. Okay, so it's a combined $1 trillion company if those two were to merge. Now, if the three of them were to merge, that would be 2.6 trillion. That will be a top 4 company, top 5 company in the world right there, top 6 maybe. 3 companies managed by Musk, 2 of them merged or on the verge of merging, SpaceX and XAI, for a valuation. If those 2 merged and then went public later this year, that company alone worth 1 trillion is in the top 10, I want to say, top 9. So this is a very interesting graphic here that I wanted to share here. Now, let's see what else it says here.
So this is a merger. Do we have any idea of terms or what kind of numbers are involved?
We've been chasing this all day.
I would imagine.
Yeah, he's apparently just sent out, so our sources say, a memo to SpaceX and XAI staff explaining or confirming the merger, which we reported this morning. It looks as though things are kind of a little light on detail right now, but I'm very interested to see what valuation this company has. We're talking about 2 of the largest private companies in the world. This is all in light of SpaceX potentially looking at an IPO that could come, we thought, as soon as this summer. But given that you're now looking at a very significant merger of 2 private companies, you'd have to imagine that plan would be potentially pushed back.
Bloomberg reporting, based on people familiar with the situation, that Elon Musk does plan to merge his SpaceX business with his AI company, XAI.
He wants to put data centers in space. Elon's view is that we're going to have data centers in space, and part of this is about putting compute and the idea of space exploration and sort of exploration of the universe together. This is clearly part of his vision. There is a very good quote that kind of encapsulates a lot of this, which is what he wrote, I think, late last year, which is that in some ways his 3 companies, Tesla, SpaceX, and XAI, are going to come together. They're going to converge. And maybe this is kind of the first leg of the stool that we're now seeing.
The convergence of the Musk universe. We're watching it in real time. So this is a merger. Do we have any idea of terms or what kind of numbers are involved?
We've been chasing this all day.
I would imagine.
Yeah, he's apparently just sent out, so our sources say, a memo to SpaceX and XAI staff explaining or confirming the merger, which we reported this morning. It looks as though things are kind of a little light on detail right now, but I'm very interested to see what valuation this company has. We're talking about 2 of the largest private companies in the world.
Very interesting short here. Very interesting short for Musk and his companies. All right, let's see what else we have. I wanted to share a short on Bitcoin, but I think it might be on, if it's not on Bloomberg's site, it might be on Yahoo Finance's site. Let's check Yahoo Finance right quick. Talking about Bitcoin's recent performance. Let's check their short page. Okay, Lisa and AMD right there. Was it? I thought it was Yahoo Finance that it was on. Okay, maybe not. Well, maybe share this one on this one right here. Let's take a look at this one.
Some record drops is what we're seeing in the metal space as that precious metal rally that we've seen all year long, just unwinding in a severe form. Gold futures down 7%. Spot gold has seen its biggest drop since the early 80s. Also, silver seeing its biggest drop on record. Silver futures down more than 26% right now. Now, you could say that Trump's pick of the next Fed chair, Kevin Warr, he's seen as more of a hawk, so that doesn't bode so well if you're looking at a stronger dollar. But traders will tell you that, look, this rally was ripe for a pullback, for a correction, given the speed of this rally. Just take a look at where we're at with the US dollar index. We have seen that moving up amid all the volatility that we've seen with commodities, with stocks as well. Bitcoin holding up just around 84,000 per token. 10x Research writing a note today saying that Warsh is seen as more of a hawk, so wouldn't bode so well for a crypto rally, but nevertheless, crypto holding up amid all that selling that we're seeing.
Okay, crypto was, or BTC was 83 on
Across the board.
130.
Some record drops is what we're
Short's a few days old there. Shorts is a few days old. Okay. All right, let's check. I want to check some headlines on CNBC. Let me see what's going on with, let's check what's going on with CNBC. Move that one. All right, here's a live look. Let's see CNBC. Okay, AMD, a lot of the headlines recently. AMD's Lisa Su says demand for okay, we read that earlier. S&P falls for a second day amid AMD earnings, weak jobs data. January jobs report will be released on February 11th after shutdown delay. So maybe you mark 2/11 on your calendar. Jobs report comes out. Okay, today, like we talked about, Alphabet earnings are out after market close. Here's what Wall Street is watching. Okay, I guess I can't read that one. Okay, can't read that one. I'm not a pro. I am not a pro. I have to click here to become a pro. Okay, but Alphabet reports later today. Let's see what it'll let us read this one. Alphabet is set to report Q4 today after bell. Wall Street will be looking for more details on Google's deal to revamp Apple's Siri virtual assistant with the search company's Gemini AI models. Wednesday's result will show whether Alphabet can retain its position as one of the best performing stocks on the market. The picture of Sundar Pichai, CEO of Alphabet and Google, attends the inauguration. Okay, let's see what we got here. Alphabet's latest earnings results will test how far the company can rally. One of the street's top performers, 25. Alphabet stock has risen more than 70% in the last 6 months. Last month, Google became the fourth member of the $4 trillion company club, joining NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Apple. Wall Street will be looking for more details on the recently announced deal for Google to revamp Apple's AI features. The deal is one of the most prominent yet for Gemini, as the scale of Apple's user base boasts 2.5 billion active devices. So what's the world population? Is the world population 8 billion? Is the world population 8 billion? So 2.5 of that 8 billion have an active Apple user. In November, the company launched its Gemini 3 models to strong reviews. Google also rolled out 17th generation of its tensor processing units called Ironwood. Waymo also began opening its robotaxis routes to freeways in 3 major cities, marking a major milestone for the ride-hailing company. Okay, let's pause on that. Let's pause on Waymo. I have seen Waymo in several cities. I have seen Waymo in Atlanta. I have seen Waymo in Las Vegas. I have seen Waymo in South Florida. I think in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, I thought I saw Waymo. Amin Vedat, Google's AI infrastructure boss, told employees that the company has to double its servings capacity every 6 months in order to meet demand. Wow. Company has to double its servings capacity every 6 months in order to meet demand for AI services. The competition in AI infrastructure is the most critical and most expensive part. Okay. So if you're one of these big tech companies, one of these Mag 7s, and you're building out the AI infrastructure, And you saw Meta say this recently. You saw Microsoft say this recently. They're spending an enormous amount on capex, building out AI infrastructure. At some point, I suspect one of these Mag 7s or just any company that's heavily building out their AI infrastructure will say, maybe we don't spend a crazy amount on building out the infrastructure. Instead, because eventually these companies will run out of cash. I think I read an article on, who was it? One of these bigger companies was using a crazy percentage of their cash flow to build out the infrastructure. But my point is, there comes a point where you may even scale back from the building out the AI infrastructure and just partner with a company that's building out AI infrastructure. But anyways, getting back to the article. In December, Alphabet agreed to acquire data center company Intersect for what's 4.75 billion in cash, and the assumption of debt. Since the start, what's 4.75 billion when you're worth 4 trillion? In January, the company launched an AI feature called Personal Intelligence, which connects information from apps like Gmail and Google Photos to provide users personalized answers in the Gemini chatbot. Google also announced a protocol for AI shopping agents called Universal Commerce Protocol as the company tries to secure its position in AI-powered commerce. So I believe OpenAI is doing something similar to this. They're trying to integrate different shopping apps into, I think, the newer versions or the coming versions of OpenAI. Yeah, okay, here we go. In January, Waymo began operating its services in Miami. I thought I saw Waymo operate in Miami. Okay, here we go, down here. Earlier this week, Waymo said it raised a $16 billion funding round that values the company at $126 billion. The company ended 25 having served 15 million trips in 5 major U.S. markets: Austin, Texas, ATL, LA, Phoenix, and San Francisco Bay Area. Okay, so Waymo. Okay, so oh crap, keep doing this. Did I screw that up? Let me go back. Can I go back? Let me see what I'm doing here. I'm not good with the tech. Well, let me see if I can find that one sentence again. That one line of their business is worth $126 billion. Earlier this week, Waymo said it raised $16 billion funding round that values the company. So Waymo alone is worth $126 billion. So compare this valuation of Waymo, compare that to your favorite company. Compare that to the average small cap, mid cap, and compare total valuation. Okay. 126 billion on just that line of business. Waymo, just Waymo alone. All right. Okay, Google making moves. Okay, Google's making moves. Okay, they report earnings later today. Okay, today is not my day with the tech. Today is not my day with the tech. All right, let's see what else we got. I wanted to go back on the CNBC headlines. All right, let's see if I can do this correctly without screwing this up again. Okay, getting back to CNBC. All right, here's CNBC. Okay. NVIDIA-backed AI voice startup 11 Labs hits 11 billion valuation as it eyes going public. All right, so let's a live look at some of the headlines on CNBC. Here's Yahoo Finance headlines. Software stocks crushed by Anthropic wake-up call. The sector isn't just guilty until proven innocent, but is now being sentenced before trial. Anthropic doubles down on ad-free model, takes shot at OpenAI. Okay, OpenAI, a lot of competition. Why the AI-driven software stock crash may not be over. Let's take a look at that one. Hopefully I can share this properly. pause this video. Okay, let's see what it says here. Far be it from me to offer a differing perspective from the almighty AI chip god, more formally known as NVIDIA founder CEO Jensen Huang. But this one time, as it pertains to the AI stock rout we are witnessing, I must push back on the often leather jacket clad Big J. There's this notion that the tool and software industry is in decline and will be replaced by AI. It is the most illogical thing in the world, and time will prove itself. If you were a human or robot, artificial general robotics, would you use tools to reinvent tools? The answer obviously is to use tools. That's why the latest breakthroughs in AI are about tool use, because the tools are designed to be explicit. Let's see here. But the market fully believes software companies such as Salesforce, Workday, Thomas Reuters, SAP, and ServiceNow have their terminal values at risk because of quickly developing advancements in AI. Let's see if I can X this damn thing. Exit. Just look at what Anthropic debuted on Friday, which initially flew a little under the radar before sparking another software rout on top of the route we had already seen in 26. I believe Anthropic is Amazon backed. The AI developer debuted plugins for its Claude Cowork agent that could automate tasks such as legal, sales, marketing, and data analysis. But the close of trading Tuesday's shares of these companies had all crashed by double-digit percentages. PayPal, we talked about PayPal. Okay, so something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on, the software industry. Bezos-owned Washington Post conducts widespread layoffs, gutting a third of its staff. Okay, interesting headline there as well. All right. Okay, so you can check out some of those articles on your own. All right, I wanted to drop a link in the chat to see if I can do this correctly. Actually, let me share this instead of me dropping. Actually, I'm gonna do both. There's a replay link for the ABC Digital that happened this past weekend. Let's see if I can drop this in the chat. What I'm gonna do is drop this in the chat. Okay, so there's the link if you click on that. But I also wanted to share my screen if you guys were interested in the replay. Oh boy. Yeah, today's not my day with the tech at all. Let me share my screen here. Okay, so if you go to blackbusinessschool.com, or if you just click on that link in the chat, here's the landing page for the replay. Let's see what we get here. So it looks like this, all Black digital, Black education, entertainment you won't find anywhere else. I believe this is the replay for this past weekend and other A, B, and C's in the past. Okay, which one of these are you? Visionary change maker, entrepreneur and business owner, investor or wealth builder, leader in activism and culture, anyone committed to excellence. Okay, which one are you? You may even be several of those. Virtual access, keynotes, panels, and fireside chats. Exclusive insights from tool strategies. Okay. Okay, Dr. Watkins. Some of the course content here. This is an interesting one here. If these conferences impact you, leave a comment, leave a message. Let's I mean, for me personally, these conferences definitely help me, push me forward. So I believe I've filled out that section. Some other items in the curriculum. Let's see what else we have. Okay, so here's the replay, day 1, 2, 3. Day 1, 2, 3 there, opening remarks, panel. Okay, that's a 2016. Okay, going back to 2000. Okay, year by year, 16, 17, and so on. Okay, all right. Okay, so you got several of the replays there. If you scroll to the bottom, different payment options. So you guys can check out that on your own time. wanted to mention that because this past weekend we had the virtual ABC. I was on a panel on Saturday and I was on a breakout Saturday night. So I wanted to mention that for anyone interested. Okay, anyone interested in that, check out that link I just dropped in the chat. All right, before we wrap, I want to check out the market one more time. Let's see what's going on in the market. Great day to get rich in America. Great day to build your wealth in America. I try to keep the same psychology all the time. Okay, so I try to trick my mind into getting excited on green days, and I also try to trick my mind to get excited on red days. So I never get too high or too low. I try to maintain the same psychology all the time. So here's a live look at the market. Major indexes just about flat, slightly down maybe. And maybe the biggest one was the NASDAQ down to 602. What else do we have? Bitcoin, okay, 72 and a half on Bitcoin, 72 and a half. 72 and a half for Bitcoin. Let's see what else we have. NVIDIA 173. Okay, good price on the NVIDIA in my opinion, 173. Oklo 65, down 16% today to 65. Tesla, TSM 321, down 4.5%. And as we discussed, I think I missed the AMD down. Okay, down a lot, 70%, 60%, $40 down today, down to 201. So look at this jump here. So they had good earnings, but they pulled back so much. That's what's going on as of 12:59 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. Let me check one more thing. In terms of scheduling, actually, I wanted to mention schedule before we wrap. Scheduling, let's see what else we got. What do we have going on this week in the Black Business School? We have the book club tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I believe there was an economic elevation circle earlier this week. I think that was on Monday. So a bit of a lighter week this week in the Black Business School. Last week was pretty busy. We had the ABC Digital over the weekend, plus the regular classes. Okay, so I'm not seeing that here. Okay, yep. So my name's Errol. Next week, Wednesday, we'll reconvene noon Eastern. Hopefully, I'll sort out the technology by then. My apologies again for the shortcomings in tech. So I'm going to check you out Wednesday at noon Eastern. Until then, build out your wealth, stay disciplined, stay focused, and get what you deserve. All right, check you out next Wednesday. Peace.